time. What's beef? Beef is when you make your enemies start your cheek. Beef is when you roll no less than 30 deep. Beef is when I see you, guaranteed to be in ICU. Check it.
Oh Lord Jesus, what's going on with y'all today, man? Chilling. Different day, same shit. As Alla would like to say, different screws, same drill. Anyway, right? So I did make a video yesterday about just shit I would just be talking about because my homeboy asked me to make a video for him. He's like, well, not for him, but just talking about the shit he sent me in the text messages. And I feel like I half-ass did that shit because a nigga was dog-ass tired. I had been driving all weekend, here and there, exercise over. Like, I drove to my girlfriend's grandparents' house that Friday. After driving all morning that morning, got up Saturday, exercise, moving around, just doing shit. Just to basically, not an exhausting weekend, but I was tired. Then I got back up Monday and worked the whole work day Monday. I didn't really get off till like maybe 6, almost 7 o'clock. And somehow, by the grace of God, I got up and went to work today. Dog, when I tell you, I don't even halfway remember driving to work. Like, you ever had one of those mornings where you get to work, but you don't remember about how you got to work because you were so tired from the work day before? Like, I try to get there early so I can sleep like an hour, so I can start back driving. So I feel a little bit more refreshed, right? But that's just basically the story that, I've been on for the past couple of days. Now, so me and my girlfriend were at her grandparents' house. We just chilling, just watching TV and everything. And she's showing me this Facebook thread. And this is kind of what kicked this whole, I want to say, it inspired me to make this. So she's talking about this dude or whatever from, like, she's not talking about a dude. Somebody she knows from her hometown, so to speak. Like, seeing a motherfucker that she's friends with on Facebook. And, this dude is saying all types of, shit, From my understanding, the guy, I think he was just, upset about Thanksgiving, and people just, how a motherfucker from the family feel like they outcast? He felt outcast, so he was just taking it out on everybody else. And basically was on some type of shit where he was just pretty much trying to pick a fight with whoever the fuck would jump in the fucking status with him. Now, this dude was also bringing gang shit into it. Like, just, he wasn't saying nothing that crazy. The point I'm getting at is that, you gotta know when a motherfucker just talking shit and when someone really wants to fight with you. Meaning, like, basically what I'm trying to say is this is an area that I have a lot of expertise in. Meaning, like, this is some shit I've done a lot of. I can't tell you how many times I've gotten into it with a dude over just, I guess, male ego, I would say. Just over dumb shit. And now, personally, I'm at a place in my life where it's like, if I gotta feel that type of energy toward a man, we gotta meet up in a parking lot somewhere. Right? I would prefer that. Like, I would prefer we meet up somewhere, we slug it out. Okay, my perfect scenario for a fist fight would be we get to somewhere, we slug it out, the police don't get called, we squash our issue, and we go get a drink. Now, in this day and age, that shit is not happening. Like, if you fight, and it took me a while to learn that. My homeboy was the one who told me that, right? In this day and age, motherfuckers are not fighting fair. Nobody's finna fight you straight up. No one's gonna square up with you. And if they square up with you, and then that's it, consider yourself lucky. Like, me personally, I've had it out with men over some of the dumbest shit. Like, let's see if I can recall. I recall a dude one time, right? And this is back when me and my baby mama was cool, and I ain't spoke to this motherfucker in almost 2 years. Back when me and my baby mama used to kind of hang out, right? And somehow she was doing all this type of bullshit. She got kicked out of her mama's house. So I ended up buying her an apartment for her to stay in. Just because so my kids have a place to stay. She have a place to, to stay, watch the kids. Because I stayed in Florida. And I was like, look, you're not living with me. You're not bringing all this chaos that you got going on down to Jacksonville. That's where I was staying at the time. You're not bringing all this shit with me. So we in the living room talking. My daughter had to be about 4. And we sitting there talking. And granted, she had an ex-boyfriend at the time. Nigga, just walk in the door. Like, don't knock, don't say shit, just walk in. Like, he walks in the front door, walks back to the bedroom, grabs his shoes, and walks out. And I look at her, and I'm like, what the fuck was that? She's like, oh no, he just came to get his stuff, and this, that, and the third, right? So, I'm like, so what the fuck? I'm just like in disbelief, because the nigga didn't knock, didn't say anything. Like, didn't greet me, didn't speak to me, nothing. And mind you, I'm paying for this apartment at the time. Like, I'm paying for my apartment back in Jacksonville, and I'm paying for her apartment because her mother got sick of her shit and just kicked her out, right? I watched this motherfucker go downstairs and tell this nigga that I was pushing up on her, in her face, all this other shit. Now, this dude ended up developing problems with me because he came at me on some type of shit where it's like, well, she said you be beating on her, slapping her around, doing all this other shit, and you don't do shit for your kids. Your daughter is like my daughter. Nigga, when I tell you I lost it. Now, this might have been, my daughter's about to be 12 next year. So this might have been about 8 years ago, 7, 8 years ago. The kind of motherfucker I was, and I'm still kind of like this, but I'm not like this now, but I'm kind of like it. Back then, I was willing to go to jail or prison to get a point across. Like, just to get a point across to a person, I was willing to do whatever it took. Meaning, like, I'm kind of glad I didn't turn out to be no street nigga, because I would have been the type of street nigga to shoot people. Because I never had a fear of hurting others, more so the fear of what would happen after I did it. Meaning, like, if I did it, I didn't want to go to prison for it. It's like I want to whoop your ass, and then it just be the end of it. But again, when you jump in and get involved with like beefing with people and street life and shit like that, you gotta know the whole extent of how far shit can really go. Meaning, like, okay, if I'd have shot that nigga over that bullshit he pulled, there's a bunch of dudes. I feel like it's about 4 or 5 people I should have just shot for the sake of the stupidity that he pulled. But I always told myself, I was like, dog, because I used to work in a prison. And working at Telfair State, it makes you realize how fucked up prison really is. I know I could not handle no 20-year prison sentence or no aggravated assault charge. Like, okay, if maybe an aggravated assault charge is the most I can handle, because the way they get you, it ain't gonna be no type of shit when you do something to a motherfucker and it's like that's the end all be all. It's gonna be, this is why I'm so big on, like, you know, if you put it out there, you gotta take it. Because when you put that energy out there and shit happens, it's not gonna be just a one-off. It's more shit that comes with it. Like, I've had it in several instances where dudes have threatened to shoot my mother's house up over a street beef. Like, and I'm one of the kind of people, I take, like, disrespect and street beef very personal. Like, it's not one of those things, like, with me, it never, like, goes away. It just gets old. Like, that same nigga, and I ain't seen this motherfucker in years. I ain't his friend. Like, it ain't like we squashed it and got back cool. And, you know, like, a grown man can work past a problem with another grown man. When it's just, you know, bitch ass shit involved or it's some other shit. And, like, it's one of them kind of things when a nigga don't genuinely say sorry for the shit he do. It's almost like, motherfuckers, you can't even really move past it. Like, it's almost like, I gotta move away from you in order to not fuck myself up because of the type of principles I carry. Meaning, like, you're not gonna disrespect me and think I'm gonna just let you walk away. And that has happened to me too many times throughout my life. So much so to the point where it's like, when I get into it with a dude, you know, and it happens here and there. It's not something that happens to me on a constant. But when I get into it with a guy, right, I just say when and where. Or I just get to the point. Because what most guys want to do, they want to talk tough over Facebook. They like when a nigga, it's just certain little shit that I can pick up on at this point with beefing with men that I know that you're not really about it. Because a motherfucker that's going to kill you is just going to lay you out. All that other, oh, you don't know who I am and you need to watch who you talking to and I'm the man in the streets. I don't give a fuck about none of that. Are you going to kill me or not? Because if we get into it, I'm going to try to kill you. Because there's in this day and age, there's no instance in which you just fist fight a nigga and that's the end of it. Like, the threatening to shoot my mama's house up, you know, crossing me over people I care about, you know, just doing little bitch ass shit or doing little snarky shit. Like, shit like that usually sends me somewhere else. And when you have, like, when I left Hazers, like, and I was getting into it with my child's mother's family, you know, my homeboy has a younger brother, and his younger brother has friends, right? And they the kind of motherfuckers that, at least from my understanding of it, they the kind of motherfuckers, they about that life, want to shoot motherfuckers and everything. And that's cool. But the dude that was going to do the shit for me, metaphorically speaking, and I'm saying he wasn't going to do the shit, I talked him out of it. You know, the one that felt like doing it, quote unquote, he's been over my house to play video games before. I know his mother knows my mother. His mother ushers at the church with my mom. Like, so what I look like dragging other people into some shit to try to get over on a nigga because a nigga crossed me. Because a motherfucker won't fight me straight up. Like, and I think that's the other thing that really grinds my gears about a lot of this shit. Is that when I get into it with men, it's never no meet me in the parking lot shit. It's never no, oh, let's meet here and hash out our issues and, hey, brother, I may have crossed you. There's no type of, like, honor amongst it. It's just bullshit for the sake of bullshit. Like, it's dumb shit for the sake of stupidity. Literally. Because motherfuckers come at me on some old blindside shit, or they lose little shit, or what most motherfuckers have done to me is, like, they'll do some fucked up shit to me, and then when they know it's coming back around to them, it's like, let me go get my dad or my big homie, or let me get 6 niggas. And it's like, no, you by yourself was the one that started this. You pop this off, you gonna have to wear it. At least that's how I feel. But at this point in my life, I'll be 34 next year, and it's like, I'm tired of feeling that energy from men. Because when you start that type of problem with a person, you don't know when the fuck is gonna actually stop. Like, motherfuckers, you know, think the shit is over with and shit, right? A nigga that you had a problem with could catch you at the corner store with you and your kids. Like, you don't know when it's gonna reignite. And I got tired of feeling like that. Like, not saying, it's not so much that I fear it. It's just, I don't fear people's stupidity. Because I don't know how stupid you are. Me, I just want to deck you in the face and be done with it. A lot of y'all don't really, and then that's the other thing too. I took a boxing class a while back, right? And did a whole hour worth of training just to see, because I kind of went into the boxing thing, and I still do. I've just been tied up with everything else, and I haven't had the time, right? But a lot of y'all don't know how long an actual fight is. Like, when you see motherfuckers go rounds in the ring, 10 rounds, that is a lot of training. The average person does not put themselves through that to be prepared for that type of scenario. Meaning, like, most of y'all are not prepared. Like, a lot of y'all basically in a metaphorical form are writing a check that your ass can't cash. Like, you literally are not prepared. Like, when I be seeing niggas talk all this, like, dog, anytime I get into it with a nigga, oh, you don't know what type of nigga I am. I'm the type of motherfucker to run up on you with the motherfucking lighter, catch you slipping somewhere. Nigga, I don't give a fuck about none of that. You gonna meet me here or what? Like, I don't care about all that. You got this many niggas. You this nigga in this hood. You from this block. I've heard a motherfucker over the weekend say MS-13. And I'm just like, dog, do you know what the fuck you talking about? Like, and that's another thing that kills me. When y'all talking about this gang affiliated shit, you better watch what the fuck you doing with some of this shit that y'all be, you know, claiming and shit because you want to talk. And this nigga ain't said to me. He said it over the internet. But you better watch your back when you saying a lot of this dumbass shit, because MS-13 is not no shit you want to fuck around with. Like, I remember an instance, right? Another dude, again, me and my baby mama done had me get into it like 5 or 6 niggas over just dumb shit. And, you know, this dude she, I think, cheated on me with the second time, whatever. Me and come to find out, and I think this ended well, but me and him just had a misunderstanding, right? Long story short, we getting into it, beefing, all this other shit, back and forth, you know, all this other shit over the internet. I finally meet this nigga. He's just like, dog, she done been telling me all this shit. She done been popping this shit off, saying this about you. Me and him hadn't had words and all this other shit. He meet me at my baby mama grandma's house with a fucking revolver in his pocket. Hey. And once we got actually sat down and talked about it, and granted, I'm not no street nigga, but he was like, dog, this whole shit was really a big ass misunderstanding. He's like, I came over here thinking it was going to be some other shit because she telling me all this other shit. And that's the third thing that pisses me off. A lot of y'all women be dragging men into these situations. Strictly off the strength that your ego and your little feelings got hurt. So you want to drag. I'm telling you, part of it, to a degree, some of it be women. When you beefing with a nigga, some of it be women. I say half of it. Because half these arguments I had was behind some shit with a female. Either my sisters, my cousins was starting shit. Like, my sister done had me beefing with niggas all summer. Me and my cousins running down chasing behind niggas and shit. We coming over this girl, coming over her house because this nigga don't want to act right. I've had too many instances to name when I've gotten into it with a nigga over some dumb shit. And when old boy had the revolver in his pocket, he's like, listen, it wasn't nothing personal, but I got kids. Hey. And in some weird instance, I kind of get it. It's just, if he really wanted to kill me that day, he could have done it. Like, it's done been too many of them instances behind just bullshit. And when a lot of y'all be putting this energy out there like you really be ready to fight with somebody, you got to think about what the fuck you talking about. Because you could possibly die behind some of this shit. But nah, man, just personally with me, I've just reached the age where it's just like, you know what? I stay away from motherfuckers. I ain't no bitch, but it's getting to a point now where it's like, damn, like, I got grays in my beard and shit. Like, I'm trying to get more grays, I guess, so to speak. Like, I want to actually live to be old. Like, black men die at a weirdly alarming rate. And I'm not saying white folks don't beef, but they more so, they have them bar fights and they're done with it. Like, black people kill black people faster than anybody else. And I'm just kind of like past it. Like, I'm tired of trying to like prove myself to niggas. Like, and I'm at an age now where it's like, bro, if you're not gonna either fight me, fist fight me, get a drink afterwards, or, you know, you don't like me, let's just avoid each other and not talk. Because I ain't got time to be in fucking jail behind trying to be a real nigga. I'm over it. It's no longer worth it. For real. But yes, bro, beefing with niggas. If you had to ask me through all my experiences, bro, like, I get sticky at chest out. I get being a man. I get defending a woman's honor. But at some point, you got to think about yourself. Like, what do you give a fuck about your future? The things that you care about. I think like that. Like, what do I want to be at 45? I think like that. I'm not trying to be the realest nigga. Like, after a while, being a real nigga don't matter no more. Like, it's about being a man and being an adult and handling your responsibilities and going to work every day and building and pushing forward, bro. Ain't nobody got time for none of this street shit. Like, because one thing about the street shit, once let's say you go to jail for that act or you get an assault charge, you beat a nigga up, that shit stays on your record. Like, and you can't halfway work nowhere else when you got that type of bullshit on you. But yeah, man, I just wanted to share my views on just confrontation and beef with niggas. That was really just my whole point, you know, because I've had a lot of those experiences. I don't take them back, but I'm not looking forward to having more of them. I'm kind of cool on it, bro. Like, if we can't sit down and have no growth type of conversations, if you can't make me a better person, if we can't, like, live ways together, or really just, you know, get on some figuring life out type shit, man, because I think the world needs us to be alive longer. Like, I serve people better living longer than I do trying to be a real nigga. Like, I don't want to be a 45-year-old real nigga. I don't want to be a 37-year-old real nigga. I met motherfuckers at construction sites where I work temp jobs at. Niggas be damn near 47 talking about I'm a real street nigga. Bro, if you don't get the fuck out of here with that, I hate meeting an old street nigga. Like, niggas tell you all the tales from the past and shit. But, you know, again, these are just my thoughts that I'm sharing on the topic. So, y'all have a good